So, unless you've been living under a rock for the last couple of years or so, then you've probably heard of My Hero Academia. But just in case you haven't, I'm Dan Must Die, so let me catch you up. My Hero Academia is a superhero manga that originally started in Weekly Shonen Jump in July 2014. The story follows a green-haired teenage boy named Izuku Midoriya, who, in a world of superheroes and supervillains, is born without any powers, which is known to be quite rare. In My Hero Academia, they call superpowers quirks, and Izuku is considered quirkless, but still longs to become a hero himself, following in the footsteps of the number one hero, All Might. Without spoiling too much, all I'll say is that Izuku inherits a quirk and from then sets his sight on becoming the number one hero and joins UA High School, the prestigious school that trains Japan's top superheroes. Since the series' inception, it has spawned over 20 manga volumes, 4 anime seasons with the 4th airing at the moment, 2 movies with the 2nd due to be released in the coming months, 2 video games released currently, Battle for All and One's Justice, and One's Justice 2 to be released later in the year, and today I'm going to be talking about the latter, having had the opportunity to get my hands on it at Bandai Namco UK headquarters on Tuesday last week. It's worth mentioning that I didn't play the first game, so it's hard for me to say what has been improved in the second, if anything at all. So I'm taking everything this game has at face value. I should note that this is only a demo build and not the finished product, but what immediately stuck out to me at first was the low texture on Bakugo's hair on the character selection screen model. The same can be said for Kirishima too. Another example would be Togata's glove on his windscreen. It looks pretty jagged. I didn't check to see if this was the case with every other character because my time on One's Justice 2 was limited, but I'm not that impressed with the character models so far. I know this sounds really pedantic and nitpicky of me. I'm not one to worry too much about graphics, but for the second in the One's Justice series of what is arguably the most popular anime at the moment, I feel like a bit more care should have gone into the visuals. It's unlikely My Hero Academia received the same sort of budget Dragon Ball Z Kakarot did, but I can't help but feel like a little more care should have gone into the models. You see, I absolutely love My Hero Academia. I think it's a great show with a lot of heart and some really interesting characters and quirks. But One's Justice 2 really misses the mark for me. I thought it was going to be an arena fighter similar to the Ultimate Ninja Storm series. I mean, they're simple but enjoyable games. But with One's Justice 2, I found the gameplay to feel quite heavy and slow. I appreciate the developers wanted to make every punch and kick feel weighty and powerful, but it feels like they overcompensated, and as a result it just feels sluggish and kind of phoned in. I mean, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on this. Like I say, I didn't get that long on the game as there are a few others to try out in such a limited time, like One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, which there'll be a separate video on. But the actual combat felt a little button mashy, as save for the odd assist or triangle button push, you're pretty much just hitting the circle button. It's difficult for me to back this up because there's no on-screen controls in the footage I have, nor did I take a picture of the laminated printouts Bandai provided. To be honest, I'm not sure if we were allowed to, so I decided to err on the side of caution. But like I say, I'm happy to be proved wrong, because I'm obviously not very good at this game, so there could well be things I might have missed. To be honest, I don't really think there's anything more to say about the gameplay. I mean, I appreciate that was brief, but the combat really didn't feel that deep, so I don't feel the need to talk about it much more. Although I do quite like the way the on-screen display is presented. It uses a few different patterns and colours for the combo meter, health bar, and plus ultra meter, which I think really fits the My Hero-esque bill. I enjoyed playing as Kirishima the most. I mean, he's my favourite character in the show, but it felt disappointing when I used his super, which hardens his skin to make it rock-like as he does in the show. Because there's no extra shading used to accentuate the rock-like textures on his skin. There's no noticeable differences here, and that really bugs me. I know it can't exactly be one-to-one to the show, but come on, a little more attention to detail wouldn't go amiss. I don't feel like I'm being pedantic when I pick this out, because you can clearly see Kirishima activate his quirk but nothing changes on his model. I'd always been mildly curious about playing the first game, but I was a little apprehensive that it would feel like a typical anime fighting game cash-in. And in playing this, I'm saddened that I feel justified in originally thinking that, especially after playing the second game. To say that it feels unfinished might just be pointing out the obvious, but I don't feel like a whole lot of care went into the game. If the first game is a lot better, then please feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I might give it a try. I liken my experience with My Hero Academia One's Justice 2 to Sushi. It looks pretty good, and I'd happily try it again sometime, but as it stands now, I just don't like it. But I do want to say a big thank you to Bandai Namco UK for having me at their headquarters, and I hope if you're watching this, you don't feel like I'm being unnecessarily harsh on a game. But what more can I say other than thank you very much for watching. I've been Dan Must Die, and if you have enjoyed this, please consider leaving a like, or maybe even subscribing, or even leave a comment whether you might disagree with me or not. And I'll see you in the next one very soon. Take care for now. Bye bye. Just a quick side note to say that My Hero Academia One's Justice 2 releases on March 13th, 2020 on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and Steam.